Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. If this is your first time to this channel, my name is Watkins. I'm a real estate agent here in Houston, Texas with eXp Realty. If you want to learn everything about Houston, Texas, that's eating, living, breathing, sleeping, then please subscribe to my channel. Also leave me a comment and a like below as well so I can grow my YouTube channel and continue to help others that need it. So today's video, we're going to be talking about the cost of living here in Houston, Texas. I was recently working with a client that came from California. And he wanted to know about the cost of living. He wanted to know about the areas around. So we sat down, had a good conversation about it, and I figured it would be a great video to make so people that are not living in Texas currently or not living in Houston currently can know about the cost of living here. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So someone who's lived in Houston for almost 30 years, I will definitely say the cost of living here is awesome compared to other places. I have lived in 2 other places as well, so I have something to compare it with. I also have a lot of friends that live in other cities and other states as well. So with all those things being said, Houston is actually 2% lower than the national average. Now, with that being said, there's 2 things on our list out of all the categories that are going to be higher than the national average. So the 2 things are going to be housing and utilities. And we're going to go ahead and talk about those things first, and then we'll go into the things that are better than the national average. So the first thing we're going to talk about is actually going to be, the utilities. So I know that the average utility bill in Houston is going to be about $185 a month. Now, with that being said, the reason the light bill and the utility bill is so high is because Houston is actually hot 8 months out of the year. Okay, so it takes a lot to keep Houston cool, right? So everyone's going to have their ACs typically running. You could count on about 8 months out of the year. So I know that my electric bill typically in the summertime is never less than $200, only because we're running the AC all day and we're running the AC at night. So not only is it hot here, but it's very, very humid. So in the house, it actually feels hot all the time. So I like to keep my AC around 73, 72 degrees through the nighttime. And then during the daytime, I'll probably run it about 74 degrees throughout the day. So utilities, it's gonna run you about $185 a month. Mine personally is never lower than $200 a month. So next we're going to talk about housing, okay? So for housing, the median home price is $363,000, and that's typically for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Now, there's prices all over the place that fluctuate. So if you go to one part of Houston, it's going to be different. If you go to another part of Houston, it's going to be different. There are places like Cypress and Katy that the prices are going to be a little bit higher. In every area, you can find lower end homes, but for the most part, that's going to be the median price for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. But also here you can find a lot of homes that have, large lots of land as well. So that can be an upside. So the housing is a little bit higher, but at the same time, you can find bigger houses here as compared to somewhere like California. So I know that the client that I was talking to that's from California, he was telling me that a little shack over there could run about $800,000, where over here, if you have an $800,000 house, you can get a humongous house for that much money. So that's definitely, to me, one of the pros about living here as well. Now, as far as apartments go, or if you're doing apartments or if you're doing rental homes, the average cost for rent is going to run you about $1,200 a month. Now, since the pandemic started, those things are starting to rise. As you know, the housing market is crazy anyways, so that drives up the rental market as well. So rental homes last year that were, $1,200, now they're about $1,400, $1,500. So typically the average is about $1,200 a month. So now that we got those 2 things knocked out of the way, we're going to talk about something on the list that's lower than the national average, and that's going to be grocery, okay? So the grocery list in Houston is actually 13% lower than the national average. So in my opinion, the 2 best places to shop here in Houston are definitely going to have to be Aldi, and it's going to be H-E-B. Me and my wife typically shop at Aldi and H-E-B once a week, and we have a family of 5. We can feed the entire family going to those 2 places, and we keep the bill relatively low. So typically we'll shop for everything at H-E-B, and then we'll go and get the meats at Aldi because they have great prices there. So those 2 places are my go-tos, definitely recommend it. So another cost that's lower as well is actually the healthcare. So the healthcare in Houston is actually 9% lower than the national average as well. So you will be saving a lot of money on healthcare if you move here from somewhere else that's has a higher cost for healthcare. So I know that the average cost typically would be about $100 for a doctor's visit if you have insurance. Now, in my opinion, the biggest thing that deters people away from Texas would definitely have to be the property taxes. So Texas is actually ranked 7th highest in the nation when it comes to property tax, with the average property tax here being 1.69. And that's compared to the national average of 1.07. So even though there's no state income tax, just know that Texas is going to make up for that with the property tax as well. It does depend on where you live. There's certain places that are taxed higher than others. I know that my personal property taxes are 2.4%. So I've seen 2.4, I've seen 3.2, I've seen 1.9. There's different areas that is going to be different. And then I wanted to kind of just include a little sample of, my personal bills that I pay for here where I live. So the bills that I have, so for mortgage, water, lights, and then gas, and then the HOA, I pay a total of $1,715 a month for all those things put together. Now the gas is based on what gas is right now, obviously. So right now we're at $2.65 to $2.75 a gallon right now for gas. Now I'm a real estate agent, so I drive around a lot. I typically will gas up once a week, but most people don't drive as much as I'm driving anyways. So that number is a little bit higher. It probably should be a little bit less than it is. But all those other numbers is going to be pretty accurate. During the winter time, it does go down a little bit if we have winter. Sometimes we don't really have a winter time. But like I was talking about earlier, one of the things that contributes to the high utility bills is going to be having to run the AC all day long, because we have summer what it feels like 8 months out of the year. So it's going to be really hot 8 months out of the year. So that's going to hurt your light bill. So those are the numbers, guys. Those are the cost of living that you can expect here in Houston, Texas. If you have any questions about that, if you're relocating to Texas, I would love to talk to you about it and help you figure out if it's the best move for yourself. Or if you're just moving around in Houston in general, I would love to help you as well. I get lots of calls, emails, and texts from lots of clients that want to move to Texas all the time, and I absolutely love it. So all of my contact information is in the link down below. If you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out at any point in time. And again, if you can give me a like and a subscribe and a comment, I would really appreciate it, because it helps me grow the YouTube channel. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see y'all next week.